Ambulance is the new Michael Bay movie.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah, it is the new Michael Bay movie starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, and Zaya Gonzalez.
Itza Gonzalez, I think is how you pronounce her name.
What did you say? What did you say?
Itza Gonzalez.
Isa Gonzalez, who's in this movie. So in this movie, you have Jake Gyllenhaal and Yahya Abdul-Mateen. Yahya Abdul-Mateen, he needs money. His wife needs some experimental surgery, but insurance won't cover it. It's never really, I don't think.
And his wife looks fine, by the way. She's like spry as shit. She's playing with their kid the entire time. It was like, what surgery does she need?
Yeah, it never really elaborates on the surgery that she needs. I mean, I don't know. She could be wanting a BBL for all I know. I don't know what exactly is.
Josh, she needs surgery. She needs surgery. God dang it.
Yeah. It doesn't even say. Yeah, some type
she
of.
She needs this $200,000 experimental surgery.
That'd be great. That actually would have been great if he just so what exactly is the surgery? Oh, it's just surgery. Well, what kind? Oh, just surgery.
What
experimental
for?
Surgery?
What for? What are you trying to get the fucking Morbius vampire DNA?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. Do you want to pay extra?
He's trying to get his wife maybe plastic surgery or something. Like, I don't know. I mean, you don't know.
Yeah, he's like, look, she needs surgery. Wink.
Yeah. So he needs $231,000 for this surgery, for his wife. Yeah, for this experimental surgery, but insurance won't cover it. And so he goes to Jake Gyllenhaal, who's his brother in the movie. They make sure to let you know that that's his brother. They make sure to let you know that his adoptive brother.
Like, take a drink every time they say it was like, yeah, that's my brother. That's my real brother. That's my real brother.
Yeah.
Take a shot, and you will be just as sloshed as I'm guessing Michael Bay was during the making of this movie.
Yeah. So they make sure to really state that a lot. Yahya Abdul-Mateen, he was adopted by Jake Gyllenhaal's family. Jake Gyllenhaal's father was a career criminal. And then Yahya, Abdul-Mateen, even though he's had issues with Jake Gyllenhaal's father in the movie, he went off, went to join the military. He's this decorated soldier. So he tried to really distance himself from that life, the criminal life that, his adoptive father led. But he's coming to Jake Gyllenhaal's character for money. And when he's coming to him for that money, he's like, hey, I need this. Jake Gyllenhaal says, like, well, I mean, we're doing the job today and we need an extra guy.
It's like a bunch of big, scary-looking dudes with guns are just roaming around the office that they're in. It's like not even trying to hide the fact that they're about to pull a bank job.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, just so
it's like they're doing this. It's like they're doing this on the shop floor. It's like, are there customers here?
Yeah.
Which I don't know what Jake Gyllenhaal actually does. I was like trying to. It's like, so does he protect cars?
It's not explicitly said. It's just he has a lot of cars, and I'm guessing a lot of money.
Yeah.
Couldn't he just He
has a lot of cars, a lot of money, and a black manservant.
What were you saying? Does
when you really pull back at the story, you kind of go, so why aren't there so many solutions to this? Why are they just doing this and this? Why does he even need to do that? It's a very much
Michael Bay was probably behind set listening to all that criticism and said, "Shut the fuck up."
I mean, one of my favorite commentaries is from the movie. With the one where Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck are in the space movie Armageddon. And,
Armageddon, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite commentaries because you actually can hear, because Ben Affleck did the commentary and he says at one point, he goes, I asked him at one point, wouldn't it be easier to train astronauts to work a drill than it would for make drill workers to make it? I mean, presumably they're already trained in space. They can just do a couple of button presses. They already done the hard part. And he turned to me and said, "Shut the fuck up." And so that ended that conversation real quick.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. And like you said, I think Dusty, you were about to say like, why couldn't he just sell one of these expensive cars? Because he's got all these nice cars. Seems
He's
like
got all this. At least 3 or 4 of those cars, he could just be like, "Nah, man, they're yours. Go ahead. We'll sell them. We'll make enough money. I got a couple of jobs. We can do simple, light jobs. No big deal. I know people I can talk to. I'll get you some routines. We'll get you that money. Don't you worry. We don't need to do this insanely crazy heist for this insanely crazy amount of money that realistically was never going to work out."
Yeah. There's a lot of kind of different solutions there, but he's like, hey, but we're doing this job. I'm gonna need
Michael Bay needs a movie to happen.
Yeah, and so
we're going to the Nakatomi Plaza. We could use an extra guy.
Yeah,
and Michael Bay is just, yo, explosives are rigged, drones are already in the air. We gotta fucking do this shit
basically,
now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Isaiah Gonzalez, she's in the movie. She's an EMT. She's kind of given like most of these characters, like most of the lead characters, kind of a generic backstory. Where she's like an EMT, but she's great at her job, but she doesn't like to emotionally connect, with anything. Like, hey, this is just a job. I perform it. I do what I do.
She is a hard as nails EMT. I do the job and then forget it.
Yeah.
Which, it's strange, but Isaiah Gonzalez might be the most capable female lead in a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane.
I don't know. I mean,
or at least the one that isn't, just reduced to her sexuality, like a lot of the female characters in his movies.
Yeah, because she was also in Six Underground too, wasn't she?
Oh shit! Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was. I think she was also in that one, I believe. But I could be wrong. Yeah. So she was. Yeah, I think she was also in that one. Oh, actually, no, she wasn't. Oh, my bad. I was thinking.
Oh shit! Never mind.
I was thinking about that other woman from Morbius. She was in that. She kind of looks kind of similar.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that woman. Anyway, so she's kind of in this, as the EMT. So they go there. Of course, they do the bank heist, and of course, the bank heist goes wrong. All these bank heists in movies.
And for the most part, it actually goes fairly well up until this one dumb, horny cop decides to come in to try and hit on one of the tellers.
Yeah. And so everything's going well. Then the cop comes in.
Which say what you will about Michael Bay and a lot of his films, that scene is tense as hell. It is really effective. Michael Bay knows how to shoot action, how to build tension in a scene like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, this entire plot, everyone would have walked away fine. Everything would have been fine. Nobody would have died. Nothing would have gone wrong if that one cop had just, after many times, him just saying, "No, just come back later.
No, just come back tomorrow.
Just come back tomorrow." It's not like he can't do it at another time. And he's like, no, I think I'll think of push forward. He's like, look, man, we've got reservations, whatever. It's all good, man. We're doing stuff in the back right now. I'm in the bank. Just come back tomorrow. Any reasonable person would have just been like, all right, whatever. Okay. Can you let her, whatever? And you're like, hey, you know what? What you in here for, boss? Maybe I can let them know real quick. And then oh yeah, I'm looking for maybe to this. And you know what? Cool, man. I got you. I'll give her a shout out. Bye.
But again, movie needs to happen.
I know. It's just, yeah. Why does it happen? Because it's a movie.
Yeah. Okay. So when that happens, of course, bank heist goes wrong. Then they try to escape, and then the way they escape is by stealing Isaiah Gonzalez's ambulance, which is carrying the cop that they shot, the cop that was horny, that tried to hit on that really wants the bank teller. And they're basically, speeding down in a, basically a over 2 hour long car chase between them and the police. While they're driving in the ambulance. And the way they try to explain that why they're so good at getting away in this ambulance, away from all these other cars, is they explain that Yahya Abdul-Mateen's character, he's a F1 former driver.
He's like a Formula One level driver to boot cars throughout LA, and again, decorated soldier running convoys all throughout Kabul and Afghanistan and all that.
Yeah, so that's where they kind of explain it of like how he's so good at doing all this stuff with the vehicle and getting away. And you also think like, well, why don't they just throw down spikes or make a big blockade or anything like that? It's like, well, they
Because
say
we got a brother cop on board.
yeah, which I don't
And
know.
the biggest takeaway in this movie, blue lives matter, and Michael Bay wants you to know that.
Yeah, which I don't know why spikes would be a big deal. Like, what would like spikes just blow out the tires? I don't know why that would be so dangerous.
So, depending on how it could go, spikes could cause especially at the speed they're going at, could cause a complete turnaround of the vehicle and a
Yeah,
spin.
it
They could
could.
have it spin
Yeah,
out.
yeah. If they're going that fast, it could spin out and it could flip the car and flip the vehicle in some cases.
Cause more injury, could cause accident. There's a bunch of things that could happen. Now, if they're like, if they catch them in like a particular turn where they have to go a certain level down, they could use that to their advantage. They can just whittle them down to a road, and then they know what turn's coming. They have to slow down. That's when they come with spikes, and they can control the speed at that point. That happens a lot in police operations and high speed chases. So, shrug. I don't know.
Yeah. And then you have kind of a lot of those. I will kind of say though. I mean, it is kind of intense for a little bit. The chase that they do, but it just keeps kind of going on and on and on the chase, and it just like the movie's like it's 2 hours and 16 minutes. And there's lots of times I was kind of go like, oh, it's not over yet. Oh, it's not over yet. And it just it's keep going, huh? Okay, we're going again. Okay, it's just it feels like it should be ending way sooner than when it keeps going and it just kind of keeps going.
Like a Michael Bay movie.
Pretty much. I mean, that's kind of what he does. Is like even with the Transformers movies, those were 2 hours plus, and those kind of kept getting bigger and bigger as those movies went on. When it comes to the length, I do really like Jay Gyllenhaal in this. I think the energy he's bringing.
Yeah, he's fantastic in this. It's like shades of his performance in something like Nightcrawler as a Mysterio, but like slightly toned down.
Yeah, I mean, because he's very intense in this. Yeah.
I got a lot of Nightcrawler vibes from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think the three leads in this are pretty great. Gyllenhaal, he is always entertaining to watch. I think Yaya, he brings a lot of depth to his character, even when I don't think the script is really doing him a lot of favors. And Isa Gonzalez, she's great in what she's given to do, and just the fact that she is in this movie, she looks the way she does, and there's not like one shot that just lingers on her ass like Michael Bay likes to do with a lot of these movies. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah. I think all three of them do a good job. I think, like I say, Yahya Abdul-Mateen. I mean, he's having a great career right now. I mean, he's blowing up. He's in everything. Every other third movie is Yahya Abdul-Mateen is in it. So I mean, his agent is great, and he's great, and he's working out pretty well. So hey, shout out to him. And yeah, I mean, I think he with his kind of glances, his kind of the way he delivers dialogue, it gives kind of more. Kind of emotion to the character than I think what's there on the page. I think even Isa Gonzalez, I think as this EMT, I mean, a lot of stuff she kind of does is generic, but when she's kind of in those scenes trying to, manage being a hostage and also trying to save this, cop's life that's on board, I think, it's like that's kind of tense. And there's like a surgery scene in here that is really good. That is kind of
that surgery scene is awesome.
Yeah, and it's kind of gross. It's like, man, I'd never want to be no surgeon, an EMT in my fucking life. Like, fuck that.
For all you people that were thinking about like going to medical school, just watch that surgery scene, and then talk to me in the morning.
Yeah, that is like, yeah, no thanks. And it's a lot of stuff. So it tries to be like this. I think it's trying to really harken back to those kind of good thrillers of cops versus robbers type of thing.
This is basically Michael Bay doing something like Speed, something like taking a Pelham 123, or basically just like a live action version of a 5-star run in GTA.
Yeah, a lot of it. Dusk, what were kind of your thoughts?
So This movie is everything I expected a Michael Bay movie to be,
Mm-hmm.
in every good and bad way. It is a return to form in some ways. He's a little bit more pulled back
Mm-hmm.
than he has been in a bit. But this is no Rock. This is no one of those barely on that line where he was still somewhat of a credible director.
Hmm.
Before he made himself into his own, he was already making himself into his own brand. That's one of the last like really solid movies by Michael Bay. Even as ridiculous as it is, it's still a fan favorite for a reason. I don't think this will be considered a fan favorite in the future.
Mm.
But I think this movie so far, but it does have like enough character performances between the three leads to at least be a fun time for those people who are looking for like a crazy Michael Bay movie that's just a bit pulled back compared to his others.
And it's interesting you use the phrase pulled back, because I think filmmaking wise, like the cinematography, how he gets a lot of these shots, it is just cocaine laced with fucking bang energy, slammed down with a black coffee chaser. Because the filmmaking is kind of insane. How he gets a lot of these shots of, there's like an entire featurette online about like the drone pilots that he had recruited to get some of these, and you get that typical Michael Bay cinematography. Like you get that lingering shot of the camera circling two characters, and they're just talking.
Yeah, I think with the camera,
But I also think this is probably my favorite Michael Bay movie since something like Pain and Gain. I think the performances are all excellent. I think the tension building that Bay does with a lot of the chase, I thought it's entertaining throughout. And this is probably the most fun I've had in a movie so far this year.
I think with the camera work with Michael Bay, he's trying to add, more epicness to things that aren't really there, with the camera zooming in and zooming out. And, there's kind of some cool shots there, but then it becomes overly excessive. He's trying to, add more things to it. And I know Michael Bay, he said he was a little disappointed with the CGI in this movie. He said he's not happy about it. But I thought it looked fine. I barely really even noticed it all that much. And
it didn't have billions of like Transformers just clanking on the screen. I feel disappointed in that CGI.
It didn't have just two gray mechanical edgy blobs charging at each other, and I'm disappointed in that CGI. It's like, bro, compared to those movies, the CGI here is fine.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good for the most part. I think this movie really reminded me of a movie a few years ago, Den of Thieves, which was the movie with Gerard Butler and 50 Cent.
Discount Heat.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, basically, that one. It kind of reminded me a little bit of that. It just, the only difference is with that movie, it spent a lot more time with the criminals, a lot more time with the thieves themselves, and then everything. And then also that movie had a real kind of dumbass ending. But it kind of reminded me a little bit of that, with kind of what they were doing, a little bit kind of like trying to, be kind of a great cops and robbers movie, but then falls incredibly short of that and kind of ends up being just a, forgettable kind of footnote in those type of movies. And this one, I think this would have been fine if it was maybe better on something like Netflix, on streaming or something like that, where you could really sit down and maybe take some breaks from it and, kind of come up and, kind of go somewhere, then come back to it, just due to the length of it. And the chemistry between Jake Gyllenhaal and Yahya, I think works really well. I mean, even though they do keep saying they're brothers over and over in the movie, I think the times where they do really feel like family and argue like family, and talk to each other that way and fight that way, which I thought
there's like a full on fight scene in the ambulance that feels like two brothers beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty nice. I thought that was kind of really good, I mean, so they're kind of the lead performances are a lot of the saving grace of this movie, and what they do. A lot of the kind of the other supporting kind of side characters, like there's a Garrett Dillahunt, who usually is like the main cop in a lot of stuff, or like he's the main kind of like cop that's chasing people and a lot of stuff. He's
Yeah,
in here.
he's like this generation's John C. McGinley. If there's a role for badass police captain or SWAT commander, it's usually going to be him.
Yeah, and he's extra badass because he shows up to work, baseball cap, just gets regular, just
baseball caps, like military cargos and a NFL jersey, and he's got his dog in the back.
Yeah, probably wearing Crocs. Got probably some Crocs or some flip flops on. You know what I mean? That's always like the standard, like badass. You know what I mean? I don't even have to look badass to be badass kind of look there. So he's kind of there. Again, I think he delivers a good performance. But again, they're all like a lot of Michael Bay characters. They're all paper thin. They're all on the surface kind of level kind of characters. There. Just like with the Keir O'Donnell character, who's the FBI agent, who he's got a personal attachment to Jake Gyllenhaal's character in this, who's Danny. He's like, I'm the best at hunting him. Why? Because we're friends. I don't even know why that makes you. I don't know why.
I know him. He knows how. He studied FBI techniques. He knows how we think. I was like, how?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he must have Googled it, I guess, or something like that. It's just like, yeah, okay.
Just watched a shit ton of like Making a Murderer or fucking Mindhunter.
Yeah. I mean, his character, another kind of just generic kind of FBI guy. Really, that was about it. And then it's probably the most well represented any gay character has been in a Michael Bay movie or treated with respect. I would say in any Michael Bay movie.
It's like they just dropped that. Yeah, he's gay and they make no other comment about it. It's like 5 years ago it would have been like a full-on stereotype.
Yeah. So I guess Michael Bay's, hey, I got to progress with the times. I mean, hey, I can't be sitting up here filming women's asses and making gay people look bad. So I got to move with the times. Got to do that. So yeah, I mean, there's some kind of things there. I think it is a fun ride for what it is. I just think the length is just too much, and it just kind of keeps going on and adding all these kind of different things. It just feels like a real long car ride that I just kind of want to get out of and just kind of stretch my legs. I would give it a stream it. I think the performances are good. I think some of the action is good. It is, like with a lot of Michael Bay stuff, flat in that way. I mean, to me, the best Michael Bay movie is still, for me, Pain and Gain, by a long mile. I think that was one of my favorite things he's ever done. I think that perfectly fit him to do. And it kind of combined his sensibilities. But yeah, this one, I mean, it's, I think it is kind of saved by the kind of insane kind of performances of Jake Gyllenhaal, who's just, he feels like he's bringing that Michael Bay energy to this, almost like Nicolas Cage in one of his movies, almost. And and you got abdul-mateen, who I think is also pretty decent in this. I would give it, for me, a stream it. Dusk, what were kind of your thoughts there?
This movie it's very much like I said before, Michael Bay. From the camera angles to the style, and if you're a Michael Bay fan, I think you will enjoy this. It does feel a little bit more familiar to movies he's done previously, similar in style to Pain and Gain, without as much satire and more Blue Lives Matter, which that doesn't surprise me. If you've ever seen any other Michael Bay movie, he loves the cops, he loves the military, he's very pro military, pro cops, pro America.
Yeah.
So if you're ready to, if you're a fan of his 2-hour movies, and I think you'll enjoy it. But there's no reason to go see this in the theater, especially if you have a good surround system. Yeah, you can stream this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of two minds with this. I had a great time with this. I think the performances are outstanding. How Michael Bay films a lot of the action, it is that dangerously unhinged energy that I love from Michael Bay. And I brought this up in conversation with friends of mine. I think Michael Bay, he's Christopher Nolan without the pretension that he is making high art. He knows exactly what kind of films he's making. He's like the B movie. He's the B movie Christopher Nolan in terms of scale he shoots a lot of his stuff with, in terms of the energy that he does with a lot of his action. I think this is probably the one I've liked one movie of his I've liked the most since Something Like Pain and Gain. That being said, I don't think this is anywhere nearly as well written. I think a lot of what I like about it is owed to the three leads bringing more to the roles than what is written on the page. I think this is a very fun ride, but it's also one I can't really justify going out to a theater to see it. I highly recommend streaming it, but that's going to be a very, very, very fun, very entertaining stream it.
Mm. So we got the three directors. We got Michael Bay. Michael Bay. We've got the pretentious Christopher Nolan version of Michael Bay, and then we have the thinking man's Michael Bay, known as James Cameron.
Is he really though?
I mean, like I said,
James Cameron's really the thinking man.
I put in quotes. He made Aliens. He made by utilitarian dialogue, making very competent movies. But they're beloved anyways. Quote unquote smarter than they really are.
Okay, quote one line from Avatar.
Unobtainium.